Our next speaker is Elizabeth Coulter. Driven by unwavering love for her son Louis and a fierce commitment to families facing genetic conditions, Elizabeth Coulter is the founder and heart behind Louie's Hue, the first 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to raising awareness, supporting families, and funding research into HUE1 or HUWE1 related neurodevelopmental disorders. Since establishing the organization in 2021, she has united parents, medical experts, and researchers worldwide to build community and accelerate scientific progress for children and adults affected by intellectual disability, epilepsy, autism, and related challenges, conditions that were once overlooked and misunderstood. Under her leadership, Louie's Hue has partnered with top institutions like Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine and Seattle Children's Hospital to deepen understanding of HUE1 and pursue new treatment avenues. She also spearheaded Louie's inaugural HUE1 in a Million Gala, raising over $200,000 to support vital research efforts. Passionate, persuasive, and purpose-driven, Elizabeth Coulter brings personal insight and visionary advocacy to every stage, inspiring audiences to see beyond limitations, champion inclusive research, and stand with families navigating rare disabilities. And today, she will be speaking on We Are Chosen for This. Welcome, Elizabeth.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me today. My name is Elizabeth Coulter, and I want to spend about 7 minutes, hopefully, talking about our nonprofit, Louie, my son, and hopefully give you guys a little bit of encouragement today. So, first thing I want to talk about is the lie you often hear or become assumed. The lie that this is all random. This just happens. There's no explanation. This is just what you have to deal with in life, whether it be your disability or your child's disability or someone you know and love. I'm here to tell you today that that is not true. Something you also hear, I am a frequent Instagram user. I love it. I'm on it way too much. And I recently saw a post not too long ago that someone wrote, I hate it when people say that God only uses special children for special people. And she said, so I'm guessing your child isn't special. And I just thought to myself, can we stop punishing people for wanting to be part of this conversation? God bless those who genuinely love our children from a distance and want to be part of the solution. Which made me start thinking, are we actually chosen for this? Did God take us, single us out while we were even in our mother's womb and think, you are going to be in this situation, whether it be your disability or someone you loves, and make that world better? Are you specifically chosen for that environment and that situation? I want to talk to you about the beginning of Louie's story, my son. I was married and we had a beautiful house, beautiful to me. It was small, but cozy. I was a teacher. I graduated from Old Dominion University with a degree in English, minor in education. And my husband and I were thinking about starting a family. So we get pregnant and we noticed at our first anatomy ultrasound that there was something wrong with the baby. The doctor takes us into the little room and she tells us we have options. We didn't understand what this meant at first. What does that mean, options? Well, she said the baby has short arms, short legs, probably Down syndrome. We said, you know what, it's a little too early to tell. I'm only about 6 months pregnant. Let's wait and see. Fast forward, we give birth to Louie. He comes out, not breathing, having issue after issue, year after year, continually new diagnosis after new diagnosis. It starts with he's behind. Then he starts showing other delays. He has autism. He gets diagnosed with hypotonia. He gets diagnosed with cortical visual impairment. On and on the list goes. Every year a new diagnosis. And then the worst one, 2019, he was diagnosed with epilepsy. In 2020, during COVID, we had a virtual meeting with his doctor at Johns Hopkins. And I had just seen a PBS documentary about how they were able to change the genome structure and someone's genes in order to cure blindness in someone who is genetically blind. I was floored. I had no idea this was even a possibility. So immediately I brought that up to our doctor. I asked Dr. Barignano, I want to cure my son. He has epilepsy. I don't like it. Let's get rid of it. And she said, okay, well, first you're going to have to come up with a website. I said, no, we already got that. There was another mom with a child with UE1. She lives in England, and her name's Ursula. I talk to her frequently. And she developed a website for us. So I told the doctor, no, we got a website. We're starting awareness. And the doctor said, okay, well, you need a nonprofit then, somewhere to get the money legally. So I said, okay. So filed the paperwork, got through the IRS, got the nonprofit. Go back to the doctor. All right, now what do I need to do? Well, you're probably going to have to get about $15,000, and we'll start some research. So I get the $15,000 relatively quickly through Facebook and social media. And she says, okay, well, you got $15,000. Let's find someone who actually wants to do research on this. Because at that time, Louis was maybe one of 20 people who had this very rare orphan disease. So fast forward again, she finds someone who's willing to talk to us about it. He is intrigued. He sees how passionate we are about this. And he says, okay, well, you're not going to have to give me 15. You're going to have to give me closer to $50,000 to $100,000, and then we can kind of talk. So keep raising money, keep raising money, keep raising money. We get enough. We get the gene trial done. Everything falls into place, and it doesn't stop. The great thing about this is every time I hit a roadblock, every time I thought, okay, I guess this is the end, this is the end, this is the end, I can't go any further, God opens a new window. When I thought all hope was lost in Virginia Beach when we lived there, my husband's work reached out to him and they said, we heard you have a child with neurological disorder. Maybe we should move you to Johns Hopkins since Virginia Beach at that time wasn't able to help him any more than they already had. So we moved to Baltimore. After Baltimore, we moved to Lake Ridge. We found Ursula, who helped us with the website. We found Dr. Barignano, who was willing to be our scientific advisor for free. We were able to find Brock Grill, who was our researcher in Seattle Children's. We were able to raise all that money within just a year, in a very short time. And I realized one thing. God had kept his promises during all this. All I had to do was stand still. And he was the one who just opened every door and then pushed me through it. So I want to talk about Exodus real quick. 14:4, when the Israelites were going through Egypt. Obviously, much bigger situation than what I'm going through when God parted the Red Sea. But what he said to the Israelites still sticks with me to this day since when I read it back in grade school. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. If we see the opportunity God gives us, and we use those opportunities, we don't have to just treat our diseases. We can cure them. The research is already underway for Louis Huey. And even though he might not be able to see the cure in his lifetime, for the first time, doctors are now able to find our clinical study in research and tell parents, oh, you might want to look out for seizures. Oh, you might want to look out for hearing loss. Well, it looks like from the data this researcher did that X, Y, and Z might happen. This was never heard of before. When we first brought our son to the neurogeneticist, she had no idea what was in store for him. We only had guesses. Now, for the first time, children are able to actually know what's going on and hopefully soon have an FDA-approved drug that will be able to treat the epilepsy that kids like Louis have. I also want to share one more verse, one of my favorites. It's Esther 4:14. And in Esther 4:14, Mordecai is talking to Esther, and Esther's afraid. She doesn't want to talk to the king to save her people. And he tells her that either way, let me just read it so I don't butcher it. For if you remain silent at this time, relief and deliverance for the Jews will arise from another place, but you and your father's family will perish. And who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this. Again, I didn't want to treat Louis, I wanted to cure him. And I felt like God had given me a path forward to do that through my loving family, through the people that arose around me, through Facebook and Instagram and other social media sites. Everything had come together for a purpose, providentially, for him and to glorify the Lord. So I want to share one video and then I will be all through. It was our first video we created for the nonprofit, and I would be honored if you all would take a little watch. Thank you so much.